Hello, Matty coming at you with another Planet Coaster episode for episode 16 today. Welcome to the video, thank you for joining me, and I am extremely honoured to have a special guest on today's episode as well. I present a very special guest. There are some that say that Madame Two Swords themselves actually approached him for ideas on their next theme park, and there is actually a wax figurine of him inside the Madame Two Swords wax works in London. I present Tommy P. Thank you very much for joining me, Tommy P. Do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself and what you're going to be doing to help me today?
Hi, I'm glad to be here. Thanks for having me. So I'm going to just be looking around the park, just trying to get a bit of piece countdown, just without deleting much stuff, but keeping the main frame of the park there, but just trying to get rid of a certain amount of pieces just to bring that percentage down.
I'm not sure I'm going to be able to bring myself to watch him while he does it. I'm just going to sit in a corner and cry somewhere as Tommy goes through my park and starts ripping things out to get this percentage countdown. But with the help that Tommy is going to provide, it should hopefully free up all of this down here to finish off this side of the park. So let's get into what we're going to do. And here we go. So after a few technical issues, I couldn't actually share screen and record in 4K at the same time. So I do apologise if the quality of the video has now dropped from 4K to 1080p. But for the sake of Tommy being able to help me, it will be worth it. So without further ado, Tommy, you're off and away.
Okay, thank you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just look at the kind of like builds and just see if I can cut down anything just piece by piece, and then obviously get your approval to see if you're happy with me doing certain bits.
I'm not even watching. I'm sitting here now with my eyes closed, too scared to watch. Goodbye, Eden Gardens.
Right, let's just have a look. So obviously the path is the main bit and the main thing that takes the percentage up. So if we can kind of reduce some of the paving, we should get that percentage down.
So the path that you were just looking at just there, the guests never actually use that because they only go up to the building. So this path that goes all the way up here, that is not actually used, and that's a 10-metre width path.
This path here?
Yeah, so all that going right down to the building, the guests never actually use it because they've got no reason to go down there. So right to that entrance, all this is null and void. They don't even use the benches.
So if we removed this path and used maybe like a square roof piece to still give that imitation that there's a path there,
Let's do it.
would you be happy with that?
Yeah, carry on.
So what I'll do, I'll just space them out like this, and then once I've finished doing it, you can always
I can come back. Yeah, just to get that idea.
So yeah, so I'll leave that like that. So you.
Then that does look better as well, and it's reduced 1% already. So.
Okay, so we'll just have a look again at path, and we'll go over all the path first, I think. So you had that church one, didn't you?
I've just realised there is pathing going around there. I only just noticed that. So that's a path that can be deleted straight away. So that's probably another percentage there. I didn't even realise that one.
So what's your idea for this space? Is it just
So I'm
right,
thinking...
or is it a secret, or...?
No, I'm happy to share what I want to do. So in that area that you've got there, thinking of putting another seating area, so like kind of a bit of a viewing platform. So there's just going to be like kind of picnic benches. So that'll just be pathed off. I'll probably just put a minimal paths and then hide it with tiles, just so they can get to the benches and things like that. Put a vista point in there, and then just to the left of that, yeah, just up here, it's probably just going to be foliage, probably going back over to the green ride that I can't remember what it's called, Insanity. That's it.
So with these benches and stuff like that, maybe if we take 2 out, if you're happy with that.
Yeah.
I know it won't really change much, but every piece counts.
Yeah, carry on. No, there you go.
Cool. So it's just little stuff really, like, so if you like just delete maybe a bush here and there, I know it just all adds up. Maybe not one round the ride, but
See, that makes no difference either. You can't even see the difference there, can you?
yeah, just like little bits like that, so subtle. Keep that one.
I mean, even you're talking like even like kind of a 5% reduction right now would probably give me enough to actually finish what I wanted to do, because I'm thinking of a car ride with some farm around it and a car ride with all the track. That probably about 2 or 3%, and that would, like kind of what we can free up today, would give me the room to be able to do that, and that could take up quite a sizable area as well. Nice.
What about these trees as well, if we got rid of every other one?
Yeah, can do. I actually thought about that. Yeah, can do. So inside the
Just have a
farmhouse.
quick look. Good.
No, sorry. Inside the farmhouse is all deleted. This is like 200 odd pieces, so I possibly have a look at this, because the fencing for the stables, I think that's about 100 odd pieces for something that's never going to get seen, especially with it being on the outside of the park. So I even thought about maybe just deleting some of the stuff in the stables because it's just not required.
I mean, it's nice though, isn't it? I think it look, maybe even just deleting like that first row of,
Yeah.
of fences, just to keep as much as you can, but trying to lower it. I mean, it's just about going over everything and deleting. So like, for example, you could delete one of these buses if you wanted, just to it won't make too much of a difference there, but the more you obviously delete.
Like the terrain and the foliage, like kind of just the odd bush here and there, and
yeah, because if you take a bush out of here, a bush out of here, and do it all around the whole park, that could be 100 plus bushes. And then you could do that again, but in a different area, and that's 200 bushes. So, if you see what I mean. So, like,
see, that's one big scenery item. So I could take all of them out and just place them down individually, and probably create the same effect, but with a lot less.
can I get rid of that piece of path?
I don't see why not. Because they're not actually walking on it, are they? And I can then just cover that with bushes.
I like this. I was wondering where you put the station.
There's two stations. So there's the one at the entrance, and then there's also the one underneath the monorail station. So the building just up there, there's also another station up in there as well.
Works well.
See, Tomb Flumer takes up 10%. It's a big build. I think it's 2,200 pieces in total. And I just redone the terrain, as you saw in the video that you watched yesterday, and I'd redone all the foliage, and the foliage didn't even take up a percent.
I mean, it looks great, but maybe if you could, I don't know. I like it, and I like how these individual planks. I wouldn't delete that, to be honest, and I bet that was a lot of effort to do.
That was actually inspired by somebody else. It was their creation. I can't remember the name. Examaro, I believe it was, and they got it up on the workshop. So I gave them credit for it when I showed it off in, I think it was episode 1, I believe. Memory serves me right. And that was the first thing that I put down for the log flume, and I just went from there, and the whole ride kind of got inspired by this.
226 for that half.
So yeah, probably about 500 in total. So it's not massive.
No, but
and for the effect that it creates as well.
definitely I'd like it. I'd leave that, I wouldn't touch it. So that's all paint, that's alright.
There's only minimal pathing underneath there.
Good.
Sorry, I keep talking
Say that
again.
sorry. No,
There's only minimal pathing underneath that.
Yeah. I was just going to say, you make really good use of the terrain work with, because the path isn't always easiest to get up to different levels.
I do like the terrain feature. And one thing I did want to do is make sure that this park wasn't flat. I wanted to have elevation changes throughout, and I did a little bit of terrain work before I started building a lot of it, and then none of that even really got used, to be honest. The terrain kind of just came naturally as I went through. I mean, that elevation looking over Dragonheart, a lot of the terrain, certainly for this like this entire side of the park all kind of came from that one little piece alone. Just from making that one bit, the rest of it kind of just seemed to follow naturally.
Yeah, I find that as well. Like, I try and terrain a little bit of an area before I start a park, just so I know that I need to either move up or lower down.
Excuse me, sorry. There's not really much more to delete though, is there? That's the problem. We've dropped 2% though. We have dropped 2%.
Yeah, it's just a matter of going in and just deleting the odd tree, odd bush here and there throughout the whole park. That won't make a difference in sightline or anything. And then trying to do that again, or maybe 2 or 3, and that could be, like I say, 100 or so bushes, which could potentially drop down a percentage. Like, it all helps, doesn't it?
I mean, a flat ride is 1%. So just with what we've done alone already, that's effectively 2 flat rides. And I'm not planning on putting many more rides in the park as it is anyway. I'm thinking maybe 2 or 3 flat rides and maybe one more coaster, maybe, but that is purely dependent upon how I'm looking afterwards. I mean, the children's area is a priority. That needs to be the next thing that I need to do. But certainly with some of the creations that I've seen on your workshop, I may actually be using some of them as well. So like kind of the basketball, the football, things like that. Even if I don't actually outright copy them and just kind of like take the idea and tweak it and put an original spin on it of my own. Just things like that that can be little fillers but barely any piece count. And it can take up like a space, and so I can actually reach that outskirts of the park quite naturally. But yeah, delete that bus if you want.
I'm just going to delete a couple of buses just to see if it does anything.
So it didn't even drop 1%.
No, so it's just probably when you continue building is being mindful of what you're placing, especially with path. But that took ages to build.
What, underground? Surprisingly not.
Whole, you know.
Surprisingly, you'd be surprised at how quick that actually came together. The rocks, I did a quarter of the rocks and then just copied and pasted around 3 different times. The wall, I just put one each side and then just copied and pasted going around the clock. It wasn't that hard, actually. It wasn't too bad at all. A lot easier than you would expect.
No, it's good. Like my swimming pool that I've done, which is a circular, it took me forever.
I need to have a look at that still. That was one thing I didn't put. That's an actual park, so I need to have a look at that and possibly show that off in a future episode as well. But you've certainly given me some good ideas.
Pass up. Sorry, go on.
We keep talking over each other. You've certainly given me some good ideas to go forward with, and again, you've reduced it by 2%, which is it might sound nothing, but that's huge. 2% is massive. When you think that all of this farm from here, like from the tunnel going all the way back to that farm, that was 2%. So if I can do all of that in a 2% area, that's huge. So it's given me a lot of room to carry on with, and I will carry on and do what you said. I'll go through and delete everything that's not needed and all the wooden beams. I think that would be another percentage or 2. You've given me some food for thought, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. So I'll probably pass the controls back to you, but yeah, going forward, limit yourself to how much path you use and stuff, and then if you go over the current park and just, delete the odd bit here and there in places, it will slowly bring that down 1% at a time.
That's great. Thank you
I
ever
hope
so much.
I've given you some inspiration.
You certainly have. You've been a great help, and I really appreciate the help and support and advice that you've given me. And I guess that's, without further ado, that is the end of the episode. So thank you ever so much for joining, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the content. Thank you ever so much, Tommy, for joining. Tommy, final thoughts.
Hello.
Final thoughts. I put you on the spot now.
Final thoughts for the whole.
I put you on the spot.
Park.
Just any final thought, just any thought that pops into your head. Doesn't even have to be Planet Coaster related.
No, I'll keep it to the park. So I think it's come together really nicely with the different levels of terrain. It's a shame a bit about the percentage, because it won't let you build exactly how you want and what you want. But if you're mindful on how you're going to build, you should be able to get in a little bit more stuff that you want and try and round it off to finish the park. But yeah, I'm very impressed with how it's come along, and I love the realism of the farm and stuff, and I love the terrain that the coaster's built in. And then obviously you're buried in stuff as well. So yeah, the job really well done with this park. I really like it.
Thank you very much, Tommy. Well, thank you ever so much for watching, everybody. Drop me a comment down below and let me know if you enjoyed the episode or not. As from episode 17, we will be getting back into some more time lapses and carrying on with the park. So thank you ever so much, and stay safe, and I will see you for episodes 16, 17. I've now lost track. I'm now losing the will to live. I don't even know what I'm talking about. Take care. Goodbye.